while we wait for people to get on live and tell me in the chat. If you are on live, let me know that you can see me and hear me, and we'll get into today's video's topic, which is all about projectors and dating. So while we wait, it's a good opportunity to feel your feet on the ground, to settle into your body a little bit. It is so much easier to learn new things, especially if something is challenging. Thank you there in the chat for letting me know. I appreciate it. You can see and hear me. It's a very good opportunity to always take 5 seconds to just feel your feet on the ground or your bum on the seat, to listen and look for pleasant things that make you feel soothed and safe, that are soothing and feel safe. So if you haven't met before, hi, I'm Carolyn Southwell. I have been playing with human design for 11 years, and on this channel, I create a lot of content for projectors, because I am one, and also a lot of focus on how to live your design. So you'll see a lot of that sort of stuff. And if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at the notes on my phone, because I want to make sure that I don't go off with the fairies and miss something really important. So let's have a look here. So today's video is going to be helpful if you are a projector who is single and you're wondering if dating apps are a good idea or not. It's also going to be a good use of your time if you are supporting a projector. So that might be a friend, a client, an adult child of yours who is looking for a lover and struggling with that process. And it can be a challenging one for projectors because our process is quite different than most of the population. So today, the question that I'm answering was asked in this video. I'll put it up here after I finish with this YouTube live. That was about networking as a projector. And this person asked, would you agree that using dating apps is also not a good idea for projectors, especially ones who have the fourth line? Just because someone has swiped right on your profile doesn't mean they truly see or recognize you, right? Well, my answer to this has 5 parts. So let's journey through them now to know how to navigate this really well. Projectors and dating apps. So number 1, the projector strategy. Now, there is a good chance that if you are watching this video, you already know that the best way for us as projectors to enter into new relationships is when someone invites us. So if you're looking to go on a date, the ideal is that somebody invites you on a date. But even a prelude to that is, did someone invite you to try out a dating app? Now, this might actually happen for some projectors around the world. Somebody might genuinely invite you to check out a dating app and feel like it's a really good idea for you to do that. But I'm going to guess that most projectors that are on dating apps had an idea and then they went and made it happen. That's initiating. That's not correct for us. It's not going to go well. It's probably going to lead to lots of bitterness, resentment, frustration, anger, and disappointment. So in my experience, when we initiate based on our own ideas, it almost never works. Which leads me to point 2, and that is to experiment. In my early days of trying to wait for the invitation, I learned so much by experimenting. Now, of course, this is going to be more important for some profile lines, or, people, depending on the lines that you have in your design. And if you don't know what that means, I'll explain it in a minute. More so for others, like very important for some and reasonably important for everyone else. And I'll talk about that in point number 3. But I can tell you that anyone who has ever successfully managed to take human design from their head down into their body and actually live this stuff has absolutely done some experimenting. Every single one of them. Because you can't just read all the books and you can't just watch all the videos and have it magically go in. I joke with some of my clients sometimes. I'm like, if I could just get a USB cord and connect it at one end and plug it into your hand at the other end. Apart from the fact that I'd have to charge people a fortune because it's taken me so long to accumulate all this knowledge and so much experimenting. You have to learn some things and then try them out in the world. It's the only way to embody this information. So when you experiment, which is something that I say this to clients all the time, is do it with your eyes and ears wide open. So that means try a thing and notice what happens. If it's smooth and easy and successful, you did it right. Yay! And if it's hard and clunky and it doesn't lead to the outcome that you want, please don't shame yourself. But do try and avoid that behavior the next time. Now, this is especially important for third and sixth line profiles to understand, which brings me to point number 3, which is the different profile lines will act differently. So if your profile, that fraction looking number, it'll be written in the text, it might say profile, it'll probably say like 1/3 or 4/6. It'll have 2 numbers, it'll look like a fraction, and it might also have some words after it. So let's just look at the numbers. The names aren't as important for the sake of this conversation. So I have a brief write-up on each of them. So let's have a look. If you're, let me just have a look at what I put in the notes here because I wrote a lot of content here on the profiles. Yes. Okay. So we're going to go through them line by line. You are going to have 2 numbers in your profile. So I'm going to run through all 6 lines. You're going to have 2 of them. Okay. So just take this information and mold it together in a way that makes sense for you. So if your chart, if your profile has a 1 in it, or if you have a lot of 1s in the columns of data on either side of your chart, so you're going to see a planet, you're going to see 1 or 2 numbers and then a decimal point, the number after the decimal point. If you see lots of 1s in there, what I'm about to say applies to you as well. So if you're one of these people with lots of 1s or a 1 in your profile, and you feel like it's correct for you to be on a dating app, or you want to try giving it a go because everything else you tried hasn't worked, or somebody suggested it, or something, you have a reason for wanting to try it, then there is a very good chance that what you are going to want is to get to know the other person who you may have swiped right on. You're going to want to get to know them quite well before you even go on the first date. And on the first date, you're going to want to get to know them really well. The better that you can know that other person, the more your first line profile will feel safe. Now, if your profile has a 2 in it, or you have oodles of 2s in those columns of data, then you're going to want to notice if the other person calls you out of hiding. So, do they make you feel playful? Do they make you want to leave the little safe cocoon that you have in your home and go out and explore and play with them? If your profile has a 3 in it, or you're like me and you have truckloads of 3s throughout your chart, just give this whole dating thing a go if you want to. Try stuff. And when something doesn't work, move on. And when you fall over, learn from it and try again. And if you can see that this dating app thing is really not working for you, then delete it and just try something different, right? Break the bond, move on. Now, we talked about profile having 2 lines, so take those 2 bits and put them together. Now, if your profile has a 4 in it, or you have a preponderance of 4s, 4th lines throughout the data in your chart, then pay close attention to whether the people you're connecting with on this dating app are people that you already have mutual connections with. Do you have friends in common on Facebook? Do you follow and like a whole lot of the same people? Like if it's a 4th line, you need connections. There's got to be some way that they're already somehow linked to you, or it's going to flop. However, if you're a 5th line profile, or you're somebody with a heap of 5s in your design, you can be great with total strangers. So if it feels like you're supposed to play on a dating app, then just play away and see what happens, see what it leads to. Just be warned that people might have unrealistic expectations of what it'll be like to be with you. And they might imagine all sorts of fantasies that might have nothing to do with who you really are. You've been warned. Okay, finally, the 6 line profiles. And those of you, of course, who have lots of 6s in other parts of your chart. Because, of course, you're not just your profile. You are a combination of all of the things. all of the things. Now, as a sixth line, you're really looking for your soulmate. And like your third line buddies, you need to learn by trying a lot of things out. So it will be more or less difficult for this person depending on what life stage they're at, what age they're at, what their life experiences have been up to this point. But just know you're really looking for your soulmate. If you go on a date with somebody, are they soulmate or not? If they're not, move on. Okay. So the last thing I want to say for the sixth line is if you are determined to try out the dating app, give it a go, but prioritize being yourself and see how others receive you. Because if they don't like you for you, they're not your soulmate. Move on. Okay. So point number 4 is about recognition. Now, if you're a projector and you've been playing with human design for a while and you've been learning all the things, you'll know that while our strategy is to wait for the invitation, a true invitation comes with recognition. And recognition means, I have a beautiful line here, that you as a projector feel seen, loved, valued, appreciated. If you get an invite that doesn't make you feel seen, loved, valued, and appreciated, it's not a real invite. Don't accept it. Don't accept it. Yeah. So the question this person asked, they said, just because someone has swiped right on your profile doesn't mean they truly see or recognize you. Right? Correct. It does not mean that they necessarily recognize you. They might be lonely, or they might think you're cute and they just want to have sex with you, which might be totally reasonable, but it's probably not a good long-term strategy for you to find love. And they might just want to desperately start a family and go on as many dates as possible to find their person. So I'm going to be bold here and say something to you, projector, and that is the only people you should be dating as a projector are people who seem to really, really, really like you when you are being yourself, and that you feel the same way about them, obviously. That's it. You shouldn't date anybody else. I don't should very often, but there we go. You have a should. Don't date people who don't think you're awesome when you're being yourself. Okay? Which brings me to point number 5. And that is a reminder about the importance of deconditioning. Here's why. If you're single and you don't want to be, which is probably the case if you're watching a video on YouTube about, projector and being on dating apps, then if you have been looking for love and you feel like you have been doing this forever, or you're somebody who seems to keep attracting the same partners again and again that don't treat you well, then I want you to know that you have some kind of belief or pattern or distortion or trauma or heavy, stuck, yucky energy in your body mind that you don't want there, that's causing mischief. And you got to heal that crap or it's going to run the rest of your life and it's going to ruin your chances of love. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately for you, I can speak to this last point around the importance of deconditioning from far too much personal experience. It took me years, years to shift the dysfunctional relationship patterns that I had in my romantic relationships. Actually, in most of my relationships, to be perfectly honest, and it took really determined deconditioning in order for me to be with the man that I'm with now, who I've been with for 6 years, who loves me more than any other partner I've ever been with and treats me better than any other partner I've ever been with. So if you know that you have unhelpful stuff by any name stuck in your system, then please prioritize finding and resolving that stuff. Because here's the thing, you could learn about every aspect of every part of your entire fucking human design chart. And if your body doesn't feel safe, here I am wagging my finger at you. If your body doesn't feel safe to feel deeply loved, then you, my dear, are going to forever keep. This is me trying to do an arm's length. Ready? You're going to forever keep love at an arm's length. You're going to keep it away from your heart because it doesn't feel safe. Okay? So please prioritize it. And if you have a question that you think I can answer in this format, here on a YouTube video that might help other people, that doesn't need your human design chart, because obviously if it doesn't need your chart, we need to do that in session. If it doesn't, and you think that me answering your question might help more people, then pop it in a comment. I'll have a look and I might do a long, slightly less rambling video for you next time. Okay, bye.